We are about to speak to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources on a couple of these matters regarding Galamsey, the court case with Aisha Huang, and a number of other things. Why don't we get to him right now? He joins us. Mr. Samuel Abu Jinapor is the member of Parliament for Damongo and also the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Mr. Jinapor, it's a pleasure. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Kojo, and very good morning to your cherished listeners.
Now, I know you've been listening. A couple of the things we've been talking about have caused you to want to make an intervention. So we'll give you that opportunity.
Well, it's just to emphasize that the commitment of the government to the fight against this canker is total and unflinching. And all the various tools we have to deploy to enable us come to grips of this illegal mining issue will be declared, rolled out ruthlessly. Look, the Aisha One lady, Kojo, you recall that when the matter came up, the suggestion was that this woman was untouchable. I mean, I even heard people go as far as saying she's so connected in the country and in the echelons of power that she could not be prosecuted. I want to believe and hope that, thankfully, our people will appreciate now that this woman will be treated as anybody who is flouted the laws of our country. And that is why the Attorney General himself is prosecuting this matter. And yesterday, I was in court with him, and all indications suggest that this case is being prosecuted in a very expeditious manner. I think we are going back on the 24th or so, and after that, the trial will commence. The Attorney General is giving an indication that he's prepared to conduct the trial on a day-by-day basis, which is that we go every day of the week to make sure that we bring this matter to closure as quickly as possible. The point I want to make and want to reiterate it is that this is not a fight where we can choose and pick and say this person is a journalist, so he can't be touched or she can't be touched. This person is a politician, and therefore the person is shielded, or this person is in government, or this person is a businesswoman. Nobody will be shielded. We're going to go about this without fear or favor, and the prosecution of Aisha One should be a clear testimony and should send a strong signal to those who are determined to carry on with this canker, with this menace, I should call it that way, that will come after them and come after them ruthlessly.
Well, it's interesting to hear you say this, because I'm sure you've also noted the public commentary and the opinions that are being voiced by Ghanaians regarding the very interesting coincidence of the personalities representing Aisha Huang and her accomplices. As a politician, what do you say about the fact that people think that this is all a staged, performance to make it look like you're fighting to prosecute Aisha Huang and her accomplices? Meanwhile, you're also working together to defend them.
Well, first of all, I think that's very strange and that's very interesting. Well, the first point is government, and for that matter myself, will not have or do not have control over decisions made by private legal practitioners. I hope you appreciate that. We cannot make a determination as to what case a lawyer accepts or does not accept. Secondly, at the heart of our criminal justice system and our constitutional system is the right to fair trial and right to representation. What kind of representation Aisha One or any other accused person gets will be out of the hands of government. If the Republic, and for that matter the state and government, were to be able to determine representation for accused persons, that obviously would defeat the age-old principle of fair trial, so that we cannot be choosing lawyers for accused people. What decision politicians make or individuals make as lawyers as to which cases they should take up or not, I think it's for them to deal with it. That cannot be my perturbation. What I am interested in, and I'm very interested in that as a Minister for Mines, is that the Attorney General prosecutes this matter fully in a very spirited manner, and I am expecting that the Attorney General, in the end, will secure a conviction. And I say this without prejudice to the trial that is about to commence. And I'm happy and thankful that we have an Attorney General who is doing just that. Let's wait for the conclusion of the trial and let people like you, journalists, take it upon yourself to follow the trial and to inform the population whether or not the state, and for that matter, the Attorney General, is prosecuting this matter in the manner that an Attorney General should. And I have full confidence in the Attorney General. I think the way he's going about this, he's doing it in a very spirited manner, and that is how we should proceed. What representation accused person take, that I believe cannot be determined by government, and we cannot be responsible for that.
Yes, but while that cannot be determined by government and you shouldn't be responsible for that, are you not concerned that your former party chairman is defending some of these persons? Another member of your party, a former deputy minister, former member of parliament, is defending Aisha Wang. You're not concerned?
Well, you want to take me out of my chair as minister and put me in a chair as a politician. I'm not going to wear that cap now. I'm not. My mind is not working on politics at this stage.
Do you really
I'm interested in? You're asking me about the politics of it. That's a different matter. We
would like your answer on it, though, even though it's a different matter. You are a politician too, so we'd love to know your take on that as well.
No, what my take on my answer to your question is that regardless of who is representing these accused persons, the Attorney General should prosecute them in a very spirited manner and secure a conviction for the Ghanaian people. If the Attorney General was successful at securing a conviction for the Ghanaian people, who represented them will become inconsequential. And indeed, that is the best way of answering the critics and the conspiracy theories that we must have been cooking this.
Okay, so you've talked about how committed your ministry and the Attorney General is to fighting galamsey and to prosecuting Aisha Huang. What about Chairman Wontumi? Why have we not even seen an arrest? Since his statement issued by his own company admits that he doesn't have a license to mine in the forest reserve. You have a directive that is active right now that nobody should be mining in forest reserves. He's doing exactly that. Why has he not been arrested? Why have we not heard anything from you or your ministry on Chairman Wontumi?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. First of all, I want to believe that you agree that due process is always very important in whatever you do. Because if the process is not on a strong foundation, whatever superstructure you build on it will collapse. So I want to look at it from the point of view of Akonta Mining, because that's how you should look at these things. You should not be concerned about who is behind it, who is that. The law is the law. If an NDC chairman flouts the law, you go after the NDC chairman. If the MPP chairman flouts the law, you go after the MPP chairman. Their political affiliation, for me, is totally inconsequential. And it's on that basis that I have acted on this matter. So reports came up that a certain company called Akonta Mining is engaged in mining activities in a forest reserve. I got them to produce a report which suggested to me that this company has 2 or 3 concessions which are legal, which have been licensed, but which are outside the forest reserve. The people who looked at it came to the conclusion that the company doesn't have a license to conduct any activities whatsoever in the forest reserve. So I gave a directive that whatever operations or activities this company is involved in the forest reserve, that should cease. That should be stopped immediately. And the company came up with its own defense and excuse about how they started the process, and that the process is such that even before they get a lease and the permit, they are allowed to set up camps and so on and so forth, with somehow a different narrative. But I said, nonetheless, they should go ahead and clear the forest reserve. And as recently as yesterday, my deputy minister, Benito Usbio, had to still go and fly over the forest reserve to satisfy himself that no activity whatsoever is happening in the forest reserve. And indeed, the company's claim is that some of these activities which are being talked about are illegal miners who are not associated with the company. So once you take that decision to stop whatever activity is taking place in the forest reserve, you then commence an investigation, which was being done by the Forestry Commission, to at least satisfy yourself with the initial facts before you can refer a matter like that to the police or to the Attorney General or whichever outfit you deem fit, which is something I've done on multiple occasions when these matters have come up and have been seized with the initial facts. At this stage, and thankfully, the special prosecutor has stepped in, has intervened, which is highly welcomed. And, I believe that...
Just to clarify, Mr. Jinapor, the special prosecutor is investigating corruption, bribery, accusations of bribery concerning Akonta Mining, not illegal mining. That one falls squarely under your purview. And you are saying that because the company says that mining was being done by others on their behalf. So that's why...
I haven't said that.
Well, that's what I understood from what you said.
No, I haven't said that. I said the company's claim is that this alleged illegal mining was not at their instance, and that it was being done by illegal miners, galamseyers.
That's exactly
the point I made.
That's exactly
on
what
their
I said.
behalf.
Okay, so others were doing it.
But if I may end, you will get a point about even the special prosecutor. I'm saying, thankfully, the special prosecutor has intervened to investigate aspects of this matter, of this Akonta Mining saga and other matters. And I welcome that. And I think that it's a very welcome intervention. Now, the Forestry Commission, as I said, yesterday my deputy led a team to the Tano Nimra Forest Reserve, the Forestry Commission, which has the legal mandate over forest reserves in Ghana, is, as we speak, conducting investigations into this matter, and not just into Akonta Mining, but into all other activities which took place in this particular forest reserve. And they will produce their findings. On the basis of the findings, I will take the consequential steps, if at all.
Right. Mr. Jinapor, because you're a lawyer, I want to read this law to you. Okay, this is section 1071A of Act 703. Okay, and I quote, where an offense is committed under this act or under regulations made under this act by a body of persons, in the case of a body corporate, each director or an officer of the body shall also be considered to have committed the offense. Now, with the knowledge of this law, you're telling us that even though we have clearly identified vehicles, equipment with Akonta Mining logos and insignia, members of staff of Akonta Mining present in the forest reserve, mining against the law, you have not issued a directive for any arrests because you are awaiting an investigation, when we know in this country that almost all the time the police arrest, start a case, and then go and investigate to look for evidence to come and make their case. They do this almost every time. It's happening right now with Nana Agrada. So it surprises me that the process on this occasion is different. Why is that?
Yeah, so the law you read, if you read the law carefully, you will see that the fundamental principle of the law is that once an offense is established, you have to establish that offense. You cannot proceed, even with the greatest of respect, if you allow me. The lady who is seen as notorious, Aisha Wan, we are not throwing her into jail. just on our own whims and caprices. We're going through a full-blown trial.
But you've
That's
arrested
what we
her.
are doing. And the way we are approaching the Akonta Mining matter is not different from the way all other mining-related and forest-related issues have been approached. When there's an issue with forests, the body that is charged by law, the same law you refer to, the body that is charged with law to establish the facts and be the complainant is the Forest Reserve, is the Forestry Commission. That's the body. The body by law, not by ministerial fiat or not by policy, by statute, by law, that has a mandate over forest reserves is the Forestry Commission, and it's that body that is conducting this investigation. It may even come up that if wrongdoing or criminality were to be established, you probably will not even need the police to conduct any more investigation. The Forestry Commission, on its own grounds, will be able to refer a docket to the Attorney General. Due process may sound cumbersome, but you still have to go through it.
So to clarify, what you're saying is that as we stand right now, in spite of what was reported in the documentaries and the evidence of your own by Joy News, and the evidence of your own eyes, since you have been to the ground, and the monitoring of your ministry, in spite of all of that information, you are saying that there isn't sufficient information for you to arrest Bernard Nchibwe.
Why are you obsessed about arrest? And I haven't said that. I haven't said that there's no such sufficient information. What I've said is that the process must be allowed to get to its normal conclusion. We cannot jump the gun. We cannot abridge the process. And we cannot act capriciously. We cannot act not in accordance with due process. We have to act in accordance with due process.
So it will not be due process to arrest the directors of Akonta Mining?
Let me finish. If you bring me hard evidence, and I, the minister, I am palpably convinced that this evidence that Joy FM has brought me is unimpeachable, I still have to take the evidence through the process. The evidence will still have to be tested, even if I am convinced as the minister. You know that. You should not have difficulty appreciating that.
So it's the Forestry Commission is testing the evidence right now?
It's not so much about testing the evidence. The Forestry Commission is discharging its mandate of conducting investigations into this matter.
So until that is done, the police do not have a mandate to arrest the directors?
Well, I don't direct them with police. I give the police, the police, how am I going to be able to determine what the police do or not do? I am talking about what is within my remit.
Right. So it is within your remit to make a formal complaint to the police, is it not?
Why will I make a complaint to the police when a legally charged body is already conducting investigations?
Well, I'm assuming that if you were convinced by the evidence of your own eyes, that would be enough for you to make a report to the police.
No, but the question is, why will you make a complaint to the police when a legally mandated body, for instance, today, the special prosecutor is investigating corruption-related and bribery issues. Why will I then now go to the police to lodge a complaint in respect of that? I've just been telling you that, I tend to get where you come from, and I do appreciate it. In many times in these matters, people make very conclusive judgments on issues and the rest. Now, I'm not about to solve them. But democracy and due process warrants that whatever our individual conclusions are, we still have to go through due process.
So was that the process you went through for Aisha Wang?
Otherwise, we would have thrown her into Sawam jail without taking her through trial. It will not be permitted.
All right. Thank you very much,